we are doing a huge fundraiser this week to raise $100,000 for our quarantine improvement. We have a $50,000 match, and that's made by a very generous donor. And I wanted to go over this project with you in further detail. We have to, in order to get the match, we have to have all the funds in by 5 o'clock Central Standard Time. So let's jump into this project so we can go over details and I can explain it to you in further detail. Please make a donation even while you're watching this video. If you're watching on YouTube, you can click the YouTube button for donating. There's donation links in the description of this video as well. So our quarantine facility has been basically the same since we got here to Horse Plus. We've expanded the pastures and the pens, but our little quarantine barn where we do our intakes hasn't changed, and it is massively undersized for the amount of horses we're rescuing. And we rescue a lot of horses in the winter months. It becomes very challenging to rescue, like especially the numbers of horses that we're intercepting from slaughter right now. We really need a quarantine hospital in our quarantine facility. A huge majority of the veterinarian work that we do is in our quarantine hospital. It's not a hospital now, but it's that little tiny barn. And with the x-rays and everything that we're doing in the summertime, it's fine. But in the wintertime, it is challenging. And I know if you've watched our YouTubes, you've seen us in the wintertime up there, and it's freezing cold. The wind is blowing, the rain, the snow, sleet. It makes it very, very challenging. And I'm going to go over just a few of those challenges that we get, and that this project could eliminate that. And we desperately need it if we're going to continue rescuing the large numbers of horses we rescue. So our x-ray machine hates cold weather. It's ran off of batteries, internal batteries, and when those batteries get too cold, it will just shut down. Our staff also wear like these lead aprons when we're taking x-rays, and they don't fit very well over jackets. And Dr. Gina here, she's got more of like a rain jacket, a lighter jacket on. You see Dr. Lydia's trying to keep her hands covered as much as possible. It's very, very challenging in our current setup, and we only have 2 stalls. There's 1 stall here and 1 stall over here. For critical cases, we really, really need a much larger facility with our 2 full-time veterinarians, and we are so close to getting this $100,000 of what we need to complete this project. In the cold weather, it's like we have to pull up vaccines, medications. A lot of the medications get a lot thicker when it's cold. And if you notice here, these gloves are just hanging out here because when we're pulling blood on horses and we're documenting those samples, or opening needles and syringes, it's much easier for our staff to just go in and it's wintertime. Like, wearing gloves in this type of situation when we're working with horses in an intercepting triage fashion, big gloves, bulky gloves, or even thin gloves are very challenging. So a lot of times the gloves just end up on the table, and we just push through the cold to get the work done. And we're not just intercepting like 5 or 10 horses. We're intercepting 40, 70. Like, our intake quarantine facility, we really need a much larger facility. So this is a little barn that we're working in right now. This section, it's a 24, and then it has a 24-foot breezeway, and then the stalls. So it's pretty small. This section is where the chute system is and our scale, and then we have 2 stalls over here. And this current opening area is where we assess the horses, and it's just way too small. We will still be able to utilize this barn, but it is not going to be able to sustain our current needs. So we are repurposing this barn. This barn was originally built to be a shelter for horses, so horses could come inside and stay out of the elements. It's very, very nice big barn. It does have a concrete floor, and we've been using this for a number of years for horses to come in from our 3 different pastures. It's been divided up in there. And we need to put a side shed on this barn. So this is our training barn. It would be very similar to this. Is this called a side shed? So there would be holding pens for horses in here. So this is the current barn. We have to put a foundation and a pad and then build a side shed in order to have covered areas for horses. So they unload off the trailers. If it's raining, it's snowing, they're not standing out in the snow and the rain. They'd actually have a covered area while they're waiting to see the veterinarians. I don't know why that didn't load. Oh dear. This is supposed to be a picture of a shelter here. I'm not sure, technical difficulties. But we are in a time crunch here because 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock is right around the corner. Amazing donor donated $75,000 to get the construction going so we could get 3 really nice, big, large shelters in the 3 pasture quarantine pens that we have. This money allowed us to build those shelters so we didn't have to use the big barn as horse shelters anymore. We were also able to run utilities up there. We have gotten a septic system up there for the bathroom, which would be very nice because we have an outhouse right now. For number one, we have to pay a monthly fee for that outhouse and then a porta potty. In the wintertime, it's pretty miserable in there. And also in the summertime, it's pretty miserable in there. So a bathroom will be really amazing. That's something this donor wanted us to have up in quarantine. We also had to do some tractor work and everything. And I apologize again for this photo not working. Hopefully that's the only one that's not working in this. So kind of running down through the expenses. Some of the things that we were building ended up being cheaper. Our initial estimate for this project was $181,000. This is kind of a rundown of what we would need and the total cost there. And there's garage doors, utilities, just everything that we would need. These gates and panels and stuff, this is for handling the horses inside. And so amazing donor put up a $50,000 match. So we would have the 100,000 if we can raise the match to cover this project. And it's so incredibly generous. And we could wrap up this project. And so we have been fundraising diligently this week. And we are so close. So this is a glimpse of what this project would look like. So horses would be unloaded and they would be individual large stall areas or small pens that they would wait in when it was their turn to come in to the climate controlled area where our team would be working. They would come through the chute system, kind of like we have the chute system now. It's just be much bigger and more improved. Horses wouldn't have to go from an opened area right into the chute onto the scale. They would be able to come in through the chutes onto the scale. This is our current chute system. And then this would be a surgery room. We do a lot of surgeries up in quarantine and we just don't have a good setup for that. This would be a horse stock like we have in our current vet hospital in our general population area. And then this could be like a treatment area, a cross ties, grooming area. And then horses would come back out and either wait in these pens or we would put them in pens over here. So shopping list of everything. There's just a lot of things that we need. We would also want to be getting them welded and extended higher for horses. If you watch our videos, a lot of the horses have to lower their heads to go under these. We want to make them taller. So there's some welding work involved that we also need to have done. We want to get an improved scale. So it'd be so difficult for the horses to step up on. The scale we currently have is from Amazon, and we've had to replace them multiple times because they're just not very good quality. So this would be an improved scale system. This project is going to benefit the horses. It's really going to benefit our organization's team. We work so incredibly hard. And if we can have the horses in a really great environment and the humans in a really great environment, it's going to make the intakes, which are extremely hard already, easier. It will be just so much easier for our staff. And in the winter months, doing intakes in the little barn, it's extremely challenging. So this project is going to massively increase the overall benefits for everybody, horses and our staff. So we are so close. We only have $2,827 left to raise, and we will hit that 100,000 because it will be matched. So we are at $94,346. Please make a donation, help push us to the goal so we can get this project wrapped up completely and not have to, well, we didn't raise money for this part. So we're really close. And with the match, it's a dollar for dollar match. And so if we can raise $2,827, and then that is matched, we will have the 100,000. So I am just hopping on here to ask you to please make that donation. Thank you so much.